Y'all know what time it is when you hear this.
Hey.
You know who's back.
Hey.
The agents of chaos.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Pardon the Politics Season 2, Episode 30. I am your co-host, Jeezy, along with...
Hold on. I thought it was episode 40.
Thank you, brother. Charge it to
I got you, man.
Brother, don't charge it to my heart, brother. Thank you. Y'all bear with me. That baby on the way got me unusual today.
That baby got that brother under pressure.
Yes, sir. Season 2, Episode 40. I am your co-host, Jeezy, along with my partner in the chaos.
Yes,
the agent of chaos, none other than himself, my brother Chuck. How are you doing on this day?
Hey, Chico.
Hey.
This is Razor Ramon Chico. Hey, man.
Bro.
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, brother.
Hey, bro.
Doing fantastic, man. I just
awesome.
My son just celebrated his 14th birthday, so
yes, sir. Shout out to the little homie.
Yeah, man, you got one on the way. I got one that just celebrated his, and got one celebrating one on Friday.
Bro, hold on, that's crazy, bro. Because my baby girl will be born right in between your two birthdays.
Yes,
bro.
Sir.
That's gonna be a crazy, bro. It's gonna be a crazy week.
Listen, them Libras have overtaken my life, and you gonna get to enjoy some of that time frame too, brother.
I see, brother. Well, at least I know I'll never. As long as I keep up and keep track, bro, I won't forget when my baby girl birthday will be. I'll know that when his birthday comes, then I'm like, all right, let me be reminded.
Right around the corner.
Hey, man, that's what's up, man. Shout out to the little homie on his birthday, and to your baby girl who isn't a baby anymore, but to her birthday coming up, man. You know, they always gonna be our babies, no matter how old they are, but still.
Man. She just went to a party last night.
Ooh.
And I'm like...
First college party?
Your
knowledge.
No, because I got to give her props. We have a very fantastic relationship where
that's awesome.
We talk. She's very forthright. I'm sure there's things I don't know, but overall, we have a very great dialogue. I know she's gone to a couple of different functions. I wouldn't necessarily call them direct parties, but functions, and some of them were a little stale. Some of them she had fun. And then there were parties that they wanted to go. They actually did go to a party, but when they got there, it wasn't hitting on anything. So they left. So I haven't heard how this one was, but here's the kicker. It was the kickoff for homecoming. So their homecoming started today, and, all those homecoming festivities going in throughout this week. And this is her first homecoming. And her 19th birthday is during the week of homecoming. So it's just a lit time for her.
Bro. Yeah, hey, man. I know baby girl will be safe and she'll enjoy herself, man, with the fine job y'all have done with her. So I know she'll enjoy and be safe. So that's what's up, bro. I'm glad everything's been going well with you, man. That sounds good, bro. My brother.
I'm not going to ask you how you doing, bro, because I don't want to send you down that road.
So what I'm going to do? I'm tired.
Options are few. But what I will ask is, how is mom and baby doing in preparation of this new adventure?
Mom and baby are doing good, man. I think that there's been a little stress this week because baby girl has tried to make life as stressful as it possibly can be before her arrival. So it had mom on pins and needles, but things have started to settle in. And the beautiful thing about my wife that I admire about her, and I've noticed just today, is that I could tell that she's getting in that mode. It's almost like watching a player, like that lock in, like okay, the moment we've been waiting for, or all that we prepped for, everything we've been through is here. And I think that I can tell that there's a stillness about her now that's like, yeah, nah. Like, I'm sitting here like, this is my last weekend without a newborn in the house. I'm freaking out. I'm like, well, do we have all the bags packed? Do we have this? And she's just like, just chilling. Just chilling. And I'm like, that's dope, bro.
That's why I didn't ask you, because I know you and I are very similar in our preparation and our mental capacity of trying to make, going through that checklist and making sure I got this and making sure I got that. So I kind of have that idea. And also I want to give your wife some kudos and shout outs. As the listeners may not know, our relationship as far as Jeezy and myself and his family, we go back years, not just a couple years ago, like almost 2 decades. And
facts.
In that, I've seen Jasmine turn on. Well, being that she's the oldest sibling, she's always had that motherly trait about her. No, she's not the oldest. She's the middle, right?
Yeah,
she's the middle. But still, she still has that motherly.
She's just like a mama, bro.
She's just like a mama. And so, even with having an older sibling, I've been around her and her 2 other siblings and how they interact. She is the mother figure of all 3 of them, and her relationship with your oldest daughter, she welcomed her right on in, and her mother switch was just there. So I want to give her those props and kudos. And it doesn't surprise me that you said, the stillness and the resolve and calm as that switch turned on. Cause I've seen it from her first interaction with your oldest daughter to her siblings. And with the one I'm worried about is Boss Lady.
Bruh.
Cause Logan,
bruh, let me tell you.
Logan Bear is the boss of all bosses.
Bruh, man, let me tell you.
Boss of all bosses.
Don't worry for her. Worry for the baby.
Worry for you.
Worry for the baby, bro, because she on one, bro. She's already like, this my baby.
That's her baby.
She already on that mode.
Yeah.
But me, I like to just pose questions and talk to her. You know how it is as a dad. You had those moments, you just talking, and so I'm like, so what? How are you gonna be as a big sister? I'm gonna watch over her, make sure she don't hurt herself and do anything wrong. I was like, but what if you tell her not to do something that can hurt her, that she'll hurt herself, and she tries to do it anyway? And she was like, her response, and she called herself. She said, "Well, if she don't listen to what I say to her, then I'm gonna smack her." And I was like, then she said, "Well, I'll give her a pop." And I said, "Well, first of all, no, smack was your initial like." If the kid don't listen to me, if my sister don't listen to me, the next option I have is a smacker. I was like, yo, you about to be that big sister that's gonna be so annoying.
Listen, listeners. His middle girl is the boss of all bosses,
bruh.
It cracks me up when the boys get together and they talk. In our friend group, I am the outlier as far as not having any small kids.
Yeah.
And so when the friend group gets together, his middle baby is the boss of everybody.
Bruh.
Everybody's child. So it's gonna be a very, very fun time in the new household, man. Salute to y'all, man.
Yeah, man. I don't think we'll be short of any stories, any bit of comedy. It'll probably look like The Office around here, so I'm sure it's gonna be crazy, bro. But I appreciate that, man. And I'm going to say within the next 72 hours, my baby girl will be here, man. So at the next recording of this episode 41, baby Corey will be added to the Newton household. So I can't wait, man. I can't wait. So with that being said,
hold on. I was about to say, we got to ask somebody else how they doing.
Oh, yeah, bro. We have the Manny update.
All right, so last episode, I think some people took exception to the update that I gave and thought I was promoting domestic violence. I was not promoting domestic violence. What I was doing was showing the traumatic situation that my brother was held in because he sassed his wife.
Yo, bro, apparently it wasn't received well, and people think that we were promoting that, and we don't.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yep. As my grandma always say, keep your hands to yourself, and I'm gonna keep my hands to myself.
Indeed.
But my brother Manny, as you can tell in this recording, he has been declared out for today's game.
We about to put him on IR, y'all.
I think at this point he may have about 2 weeks, and if he don't come back in 2 weeks, we just gonna have to put him on IR. Because certainly, I'm like Jerry Jones. I don't take kind to paying the players that ain't playing.
That ain't playing. The best ability is availability.
Look, and Manny, why you on the men, brother? We certainly can't tell the podcast world to pay us what they owe us when our paid players don't show up.
You can't get paid for sitting on the bench, brother. What you think this is?
We can't sign you and you start out already on the injury report. We can't. Man ain't passing the physical.
I'm about to say the first step is passing the physical. You ain't passing the physical, man. We got to rescind the deal.
So yeah, bro, Manny is ruled out. Now I will say that my brother is doing all that he can. Yes. He's listening to the trainers. He's doing everything that they have asked. He is even showing up to the facility.
Yes, he make sure his key card still works.
His key card still works. He's still showing up to practice. He just isn't able to go. But my brother is still involved with the podcast. He's doing all that he can do within the capacity he can do it. But when you have a sprained upper body and a and a ruptured throat, it's just tough for you. So y'all keep you keep my partner in prayer. We holding it down. Yes, he might be trying to rush his recovery because I don't know how long he's gonna keep letting the agents of chaos wreak havoc.
Y'all, last pod when we got finished, Manny read the transcript of the pod before listening to it. And he sent a message in a group chat and was just like, what in the world are y'all doing? Bruh.
He was like, yeah. I'm not 80 had to listen to it. He already knew.
Yeah, he already knew.
We're trying to keep it the foundation as strong as possible. And hopefully our chaos won't crack the foundation before Manny gets back.
Indeed.
Well, when it comes to an update as far as it comes with health. The White House
got a health update, brother.
Somebody else got an update. And that person is none other than our President Donald Trump. Now, Trump, the White House announced that Trump would get a routine yearly checkup at Walter Reed, and it happened this past Friday. Now, here's the thing before I even get into it, that's crazy. He gets a routine yearly checkup, but he just got his checkup in April. But people started noticing. Now, mind you, the White House didn't. This is how crazy this is, bro. The White House said that Trump. They came out and announced, "Hey, Trump's getting his routine yearly checkup this Friday."
Yes.
People started saying, "Wait a minute, he just got a full physical back in April.
He just got one.
Why he getting another yearly physical 6 months later?" So then Trump came out himself and called it. He said, "Oh, they're not annual checkups; they're semi-annual physical." I said, "Now look, now wait a minute now. Now what kind of you just told us back in April? They said that you was in some of the best shape of any human being, any specimen they've ever seen in this country."
That man said he was in the shape of an NFL linebacker back in April.
And then 6 months later.
6 months later.
They said, "No, you got to come back, bro.
We got to redo your physical because That first one, we messed up on something.
We mixed your chart up with one of these Navy SEAL teams. Had Trump out here thinking that he was more healthy than what he really was. But the visit that he had,
Trump had the evaluation of SEAL Team 6. Come on, bro.
Trump thought he was about to be in Black Ops 7, bro. Like climbing walls,
yes, sir.
Diving and shooting at the same time,
doing the slide cancel.
Yep. Now, it had to be a pretty. I'm going to assume that it had to be a pretty serious semi-annual physical.
Semi-annual physical is wild
because it lasts roughly 3 hours. So, and in that 3 hours, it included lab tests, preventive assessments, imaging that was termed as advanced imaging, and this one's really stuck out to me. This last one. While he was there, he also got a flu shot and a COVID-19 booster.
Hold on. The same COVID-19 shot, vaccination, booster, whatever you want to call it, the VD shot.
Yep.
That RFK has been going around demeaning, downplaying, villainizing.
Message.
Like, what do y'all can't even get y'all story straight amongst yourselves.
Right.
Let alone sit out here and make it make sense.
Make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense. Now, if you got the president sitting here getting the flu shot and the COVID-19 shot, but you got somebody like Bobby talking against all this stuff, apparently these vaccines for COVID-19 don't work. If you got your turtleneck cut off your turtle, you somehow that led to autism. I'm just saying. And we'll talk about it in the government shutdown part when we talk about that. Half of the folks that work at the CDC gone. We heading in the winter.
Your turtle.
Bruh, if you get your turtleneck cut off your turtle, bruh, somehow that equals autism, bruh. Bruh, look, I'm glad Bobby came out, and I wasn't even gonna talk about that, but I'm glad Bobby came out and talked about that, bruh, because I've been trying to figure out in the 38 years of me living, brother, I always felt like I was different. And now I may be getting real answers.
Hey, they didn't hem your turtle, the neck of your neck back up right after they cut the turtle off,
bro. And now I feel like I'm starting to get insight, brother.
I just want to know if I'm gonna get a superpower or something at this point, or if I put some Tylenol. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
I'm just waiting for that commercial to come out, bro. We sitting in the recliner eating some butter pecan ice cream at 65, and they say, did you take Tylenol between 1987 and 1993? You may be entitled to compensation. The moment I've been waiting for.
I can't wait for the one where if you ain't got no turtle on your neck and you had Tylenol, you may be entitled for compensation. He has had a sequence over the past couple of weeks that have been
Bobby been wild,
quite insane.
And I just want and again I'm gonna get back to Trump, but I just want people to realize this, that when Bobby be making these comments, do y'all ever notice that he still talk about that study still that the verdict is, bro, they still doing the work.
They still doing testing.
Bro, but you making the claim before the test, bro. That's like me halfway through it, me and sitting in the classroom, and I got a 50 question test. And when I get to question 25, I just look up and I look at my instructor and I say, this is already an A. I know it is. I ain't finished answering all these questions, but I know this is an A. How do you know this is an A, Mr. Jeezy? I'm halfway through the test. It gotta be.
It gotta be.
Gotta be.
And that's
all they're giving us.
And I'm gonna play Trump. I'm on the other side of the class and I stand up and I say, you know, not being a teacher or a scholar, I can agree and say that test result is gonna be A.
No, bro. Trump ain't even in the classroom. Trump is the janitor that walked by the classroom. They heard me say that and said, "Hey, he got an A."
Not Mr. Johnson from Abbott Elementary.
Yep. He just walked by and just interrupt the class. He got an A. Bobby on to something.
How Trump sit there in that cabinet meeting and say, as a non-doctor, as a non-medical professional, I agree. I've seen the studies. What studies, bruh? What studies?
The same person that pulled out a piece of paper, printed out when you went to the Fed and told Jerome that they were about all these billions over budget. He looked at that paper and said, "Man, you adding in buildings that's been already built. Like, how you gonna talk about the construction project is overseeing this budget and you added in 2 buildings we finished building 10 years ago? This the person we gonna believe?"
That's how his businesses went bankrupt, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing, he ain't. I'll tell you one thing he ain't stupid about. He ain't stupid enough to not get that flu shot and get that COVID-19 boost. Now Trump might be silly. He might be silly, but he ain't no fool.
He ain't no fool. He said,
"Look, I'm 79 years old. The temperature starting to change. Y'all keep you heard when Bobby got behind him at that press conference and started coughing. He said, hopefully I don't get that COVID-19. Where's the prophylactic? Whatever he said. He said, where the medication that get Trump knows.
give me that stuff. But speaking of Trump and this semi-annual I hate even saying semi-annual physical.
Bro, it sounds like a Victoria's Secret ad. Semi-annual sale.
Get your shots half price.
Bro, half price shots at Walter Reed.
At Walter Reed of all places. Bro. But I have something in regards to that, man. Like it doesn't sit right in my spirit, my brother. And that semi-annual physical.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? June, July that Trump had disappeared?
Oh, and went missing? I know. I can't remember what month. It might have been July.
And we would June, July-ish. It was over the summer.
Over the summer.
We was wondering if he was alive. I even made mention that he might have had a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
But I think something else now.
Uh-oh.
Now, y'all talking about his Cankles, right?
Mm-hmm. King Cankles, yes, sir.
King Cankles. And in April, after his first physical, they said that he had chronic venous insufficiency, which is a condition where the valves and the veins are damaged and you don't have good blood flow in the legs to the heart, which could cause the swelling in the ankles. Also can cause bruising and discoloration in the skin.
Which he got on his right hand.
Which he has on his right hand. And some have said they saw it on his left hand as well. In that time period where he, was not really around or not seen, or they were taking pictures from a distance. But also, we talked about Trump's diet. And one way to help this CVI is to avoid high salt foods.
Which we know McDonald's. We know they ain't got nothing but. You got to tell them to hold the salt.
Facts.
You got to order them fries fresh. No salt.
No salt. Say come out piping hot. But as we know, there's a couple of medical treatments for this. The first one, compression socks or compression stockings. I can't see Trump putting on compression stockings.
No.
His ego won't allow it.
By the way, when he sit down, he hikes them pants up. No, sir.
Hikes them right on up.
All old men hikes them up at least 1.5 feet.
So that leads me to my theory, brother. He had surgery. That's why he was MIA. That's why he was missing.
Oh, and this was like a checkup to see after the surgery.
Because remember, they did scans and
imaging. Bro. And that's brother.
And they did not talk about what was scanned or imaged specifically.
Nope.
So he had what they call vein valve repair. And this imaging and these scans was making sure, or he could have had vein ablation where they close off those problematic veins. One or the other is my theory, where the scan came through to check and make sure we had good flow, make sure they were closed off, so we can mitigate these swollen ankles. And they talked about the heart condition and how his heart was 14 years younger than his actual age, or his cardiac age was 14 years younger than his chronological age.
Yep.
BS. But
bruh, ain't no way.
That's my theory. That's my theory.
Hey, look, that's a good one, because when the Trump's physician, which is Navy Captain Sean Barbella, he declared that Trump remains in exceptional health, citing strong cardiovascular, pulmonary, neurological, and physical performance. Never mentioned nowhere about an update on his issue with the swelling and the CVI that he had. No mention of that whatsoever.
No mention at all.
And imaging is one thing, but advanced imaging is something totally different.
Facts.
And I think that lines up completely with what you're saying, Chuck. I think that would make sense. You know, that's why he was MIA.
Listen, I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV. And, you know, it started lining up to me. I'm like, okay, you know, I had my theories of the cognitive nature and health of him. And there's still some questions there, but his mobility, his movement does not reflect any significant impairments. And then this comes out, and I'm like, hold on. What could have happened that caused you to need imaging 6 months later?
Yeah. No, that's I didn't think about that, Chuck.
Hey, man, I'm just saying.
I couldn't get past the fact they said that his cardiac age was 14 years younger than what he is. And I was like, I'm tired of him going to the doctor. And every time he come out, there's a medical miracle or a diagnosis that's a lie. Like, first it was that he basically is the same body type of a NFL linebacker. What they say, Trump was like 6'4", 215, 225. But ain't no way in the world.
Ain't no way.
That man, that man is built like a overgrown Cornish hen. That man that man is a full rotisserie chicken. He is nowhere near in any peak shape to be. When the last time you seen Trump even take a jog? We've seen at least Joe Biden at his old age at least do a scurry.
At least Trump looks like a doggone squash. Sitting there on the cornucopia with, Thanksgiving about to come up. So that's what he looks like. Yep. He looks like a squash with legs.
We don't see him do nothing physical except for play golf. And we all know that it don't take but so much physical.
And he's not walking all those holes.
He ain't.
You see the
definitely
golf cart
not
right
walking.
there.
He ain't walking. He ain't toting no bag.
He definitely not.
His swing definitely don't give off peak physical condition. And the diet that we know him to have, we don't see. We saw how he got mad about that escalator, and he had to walk. See, if you in good physical shape, you ain't gonna be mad that you got to walk up the steps. You're like, man, hey man, we take the steps, we take the steps, we going up. So I definitely am tired of every time that he got to go see a physician, they come out with a lie, because I don't believe that his cardiac age is 14 years younger than where he actually is at. I just don't.
Me either.
I just don't, bro. But
Me either.
I think you on to something, Chuck. And we will see, because now if that will make 2 checkups that he's had. So then in another 6 months, you going again?
You going back for your true annual checkup.
Bruh, that's a lot of checking up to do. But I just want to say this before we move on to our listeners. Don't be stupid with this upcoming season. With flu season, when flu season come, COVID is also tagging along.
Yes, sir.
Don't listen to what a man tell you. Follow his actions. Let his actions speak louder. Ooh. That man telling you, the COVID vaccine don't do nothing, then why he get it?
Every time.
He ain't missed a booster since. Now, mind you, COVID happened 5 years. Like, initially, COVID happened 5 years ago. He's still getting boosters.
Yes, sir.
That should tell you something.
Yes, sir.
If they good enough for the president, then why they ain't good enough for you? That's all I'm gonna say.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yes, sir. We'll keep a progress on this because, as we said, winter is coming. Now, Trump, if you happen to get sick in this season, don't pull that stunt that you did at the White House where you caught COVID and came
like
back
killed
out
yourself on that balcony.
on that balcony and light a dime trying to hold that coffee. Bro, no, you ain't that age that you was in. I don't care what they say your cardiac age is. You still 79-year-old man, and you are still the oldest president that has ever sat in that seat. Don't get on that balcony and do that because you might hold that cough and let everything in your body explode.
That man like the Buster Bursa sack trying to hold that coffee in.
Boy, he about blew his chest wide open trying to hold that coffee in. They closed them doors on that White House balcony. He fell to that carpet like, bro, get me to a bed quick.
Get me to the bed with some oxygen immediately.
Somebody, Mr. President. It was hurting.
Excuse me, hurting, boy.
Bruh, so don't do it. But I would advise everybody, go get your checkups.
Please.
Go get your checkups. Stay on top of your physical, whether that be annual, semi-annual, bi-weekly, bi-coastal, whatever.
Whatever interval you need, go get checked up.
Yeah, just go get checked out. If you gotta go every 4 weeks, just go every 4 weeks. If you gotta do 6 weeks like you in school, you need your 6 weeks your 6 week progress report card. Go get it, bro. Because I'm telling you, with all the stuff that's going on in this country, and this will shift us right over to the update that we have on the government shutdown, with everything that's going on and with how certain things are being impacted. The best thing you can do is make sure that you have done all you can to make sure you are as healthy as you possibly can be, both physically and mentally. Because
I thought you was about to bust into some Donnie McClurkin, and all you can do is stand.
I was not, brother, but I do say not just physically and mentally, because mentally, look, there's gonna be a lot of situations coming up, brother. I do believe with this government shutdown.
Oh yes, sir.
Yes, sir. As of the recording of this episode, the government is still shut down.
Still.
And I don't believe that we see an end coming anytime soon. Now, I will give you an update. It seems that someone that is an unlikely candidate to have joined an agreement with the Democrats has emerged. And I had to catch myself, brother. And first of all, I want to thank the Lord for the gift of the Holy Spirit to allow me to discern
yes, sir.
between truth and deceit. But
there's a snake in the grass.
Bro, what Martin Luther King say?
Somebody told a lie one day.
Indeed, my brother. Indeed he did.
But the person that has started to join the Democrats in agreement with what has been taking place in Washington has been none other than Marjorie Taylor Greene.
MTG.
And I started seeing, brother, that a lot of stuff she started saying was kind of making sense, bro.
Listen,
I was shocked, brother. It started to make sense.
Complete and utter shock that Marjorie Taylor Greene, the woman who had, if I'm not mistaken, she lost her team.
Yep.
Because she was talking pure foolishness. And all of a sudden, and it is very all of a sudden, because she has a history. We can run off a highlight reel like the ESPN,
bruh,
of her stupid and asinine comments that she's made throughout her political career.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past 2 weeks, I don't know what's happened,
brother. And it struck me because I said, "Wait a minute here." I said to myself, Lord, am I starting to agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene? And then
it was already tough not having to, but agreeing and being in the same plane with Tucker Carlson.
Brother, that's one. That's another one. I said, okay.
And then Marjorie started making sense.
I said, Lord, what do you reveal to me what you're doing, Lord? And that's when that discernment kicked in, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I heard a whisper in my ear that said, "Isn't re-election coming up soon?"
Whoa.
And I said, "Ooh, there it is. There it goes."
He gives us that peace that surpasses all understanding.
But I was like, okay. Because in my mind, I said, why is it that she's making so much sense? But then, as we've always said here on the podcast, at the end of the day, you can go up there and you can stir around. You can do all that foolishness you want to when you up there in Washington. At some point, you got to come back home and you got to answer to the people that put you up there.
You got to.
You got to answer to your folks.
What's the old people saying? I say old people saying like I'm not knocking on their door. Jesus Christ! The chicken came home to roost.
Yep, chicken got to come home to roost. They got to come home to roost. And I started thinking, well, a lot of the things, and I believe you talked about it on the last episode, where Senator Warnock came up and showed how much if the Republicans are able to pass what they're trying to do. That and what the Democrats are fighting for, what that will look like financially. And I believe that there was an article where Marjorie Taylor Greene, or either an interview where she talked about if, what the Republicans are trying to do, if that somehow passes, how her adult children won't be able to afford health care.
Yeah, it was an interview. Yeah, okay. She was on the interview. Yep.
So with that, she understands and realizes, well, look, if my kids can't, clearly, there are more people in Georgia that are going to be far worse off than what my family will be. And now she's gotten on the right side of this thing, because if you're trying to win, because let's be honest, if Marjorie Taylor Greene does not win re-election or continues to be up in Washington, what is next for her? Nothing. No. She's going to be Tucker Carlson. She'll be somewhere on Newsmax or have a podcast. She'll just go back to doing that, and she knows that is already oversaturated anyway, right? Yeah, there can only be so many crazies that can keep talking about crazy things. So I think she's really trying to look at this and say, okay, I might want to make sure that I'm on the right side of this if I want to continue to be here fighting, or at least pretending, cosplaying to be fighting for the people of Georgia. So, there's a lot of implications here. And I think it's very funny because now you have Marjorie Taylor Greene, you have Rand Paul. I think that, and we've seen some of the polls of how the American people feel, where most of them are blaming this situation on the Republicans more than the Democrats. I wonder how long this is going to go on. And I think that the Republicans are seeing, at least Trump is starting to see, that they're in a bit of a pickle. And what I mean by that is, before I get into that, just to give some details, 750,000 federal workers have been furloughed. The IRS is furloughing nearly half its workforce, which is approximately 34,000 employees.
And hold on, before you go past that, wasn't it Trump that ballooned the IRS workforce his first term?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
The Trump administration announced that it may not, and this is wild, it may not provide back pay to furloughed federal workers, leaving that to Congress to decide, which is crazy because why are you speaking on it if Congress going to have to decide? But anyway.
Bro,
there's so much going on. The CDC has issued mass firing notice of about 1,300 workers, which was wild. But then later they rescinded some of it, including divisions such as the Mortality Weekly Report and groups of those concerns. And this has raised concerns about the agency's capacity amid ongoing public health demands.
Message.
Y'all might want to be careful with it coming up. With the season, CDC is getting shorthanded. How we gonna get this information out about updates for vaccinations, about upcoming or ongoing public health crisis or issues that may be presenting to people? You gonna get it delayed, and by the time you get it, sorry, mom and dad, it's gonna be too late.
Listen, and that further cements the point of and her name escapes me, but the young lady who resigned and was speaking before Congress just a couple of months ago.
Yep.
Talking about how the policies and politics are crossing over and interfering with the science of the CDC. Like, let the politicians be political, let the scientists be scientists, and stop muddling the waters, causing confusion, causing misinformation, causing a potential another pandemic. Quite honestly, because you're not having the proper people in place to get the word out, get the messaging out, making sure that the right measures and steps are being taken so that we could make sure we protect the American people.
Yep. Well, I know somebody who's protected. The military, that military personnel. And I think that's why, to my point I was saying earlier, about how I believe that at least Trump is starting to see that there is some serious pressure on them about this shutdown. Because, and I think you may have said it in the group chat, if the 15th come and that military personnel ain't getting paid, you gonna have yourself a situation.
Well, here's the thing on that. And so before we dive into the military, I want to just run the numbers real quick of the potential employees who have gotten their RIF notice. And that RIF notice means reduction in force. And this comes from the Office of Personnel Management, U.S. Office of Personnel Management. So a document that was sent out said 315 employees of the Department of Commerce, 466 Department of Education, and Linda McMahon is an embarrassment to our great institution that is East Carolina University. 187 employees of the Department of Energy, between 1,100 to 1,200 at the Department of Health and Human Services, 442 at Housing and Urban Development, 176 in Homeland Security, over 1,400 for Department of Treasury have all received these RIFs. And there's an agency called the American Federation of Government Employees, which is a union group. And their president, Everett Kelly, came out and released a statement saying it is disgraceful that the Trump administration has used the government shutdown as an excuse to illegally fire thousands of workers who provide critical services to communities across this country. And that's to the point my brother Jeezy was making of how this is going to impact everyone across the country. Yes, these people are directly impacted because they've lost their jobs. But the jobs that they do in commerce, in HUD, in health and human services, in homeland security, in treasury, in Department of Energy, education, this is going to trickle down and be a widespread impact across the board where aspects of your life are hindered, brought to a halt, whatever, because of these cuts. We're already seeing this in the airports. Just this weekend, so many flights were canceled because of work shortages at airports across the country. Here in Atlanta, Hartsfield-Jackson, the world's busiest airport, had many delays and cancellations because they were short-staffed in air traffic control. I'm not trying to fly if you ain't got enough people working in that tower.
Bruh, absolutely not.
What did you think this is? And so,
mind you, that's going in. This is work. Mind you, we're going into holiday season,
the busy travel season,
bruh.
The busy travel season. And so, in preparation for this, I dug a little deeper about this RIF, and the Office of Personnel Management states that when an agency must abolish positions, the RIF regulations determine whether the employee keeps his or her position based off some factors. And some of those factors are tenure of employment, veterans presence, length of service, and performance ratings. And so an agency is required to use these procedures when an employee is faced with separation or downgrading for reasons such as reorganization, which I would say this is what it is, because your boy, was it Robert? Is his name first name Robert? I don't care what his first name is. Interestingly enough, old boy who's author of Project 2025. Guess I found out the correct pronunciation of his last name, because to me, I would say Vaught.
Yeah.
Looking at it, Vought. No, brother, it's Vote.
Bro.
The irony that his last name is Vote. And
is wild.
I may have been a little maniacal because I went in on a rabbit hole in finding out about this man.
Yeah.
And he's the youngest of 7. And he was a part of the first Trump administration. When let go, he went into this maniacal hole of government slashing where he isolated himself away from his family and just start working on this plan. And to the point, people who would visit him would talk about how disturbing it was because there was a rodent or something that was in the walls of wherever he would go to do his work, and they could hear the clawing and scratching. And they're like, that doesn't bother you? He's like, oh, what are you talking about? He's so locked in on this foolishness of trimming and cutting down the country and the government. Yeah, it was a crazy rabbit hole.
Was he Bruno off Encanto?
Listen, man, like the rabbit hole I went down researching him could be a series, not even an episode, a series. And just how maniacal he is and how driven he is, and how he talks about how he goes back to his childhood and how his parents couldn't provide or they struggled in certain aspects. Well, when you got 7 kids, what you think gonna happen?
Bro.
But anyway, back to the military. Yes. In our group text conversations, I had talked about how I questioned if they're going to get paid. Number one, because Mike Johnson refuses to call the House back in session.
Yep.
Refuses. Not he can't. Not he's been met with resistance. He refuses after being urged by the likes of Marjorie Taylor Greene, like the likes of Mike Massey and other Republicans, let alone the Democrats. The Democrats even said, let's go back and just vote on paying the military. Forget everything else. We still have our fight and we still stand our ground in regards to the subsidies for healthcare and ACA. But let's go back so we can make sure that our military personnel can get paid. And he said no. And I'll get back on that a little later.
I was about to say, it didn't seem, even I thought that call where whatever show he was on doing an interview, and the wife of the military, her husband was in the military, and she pleaded like, if we don't get paid on the 15th, like my children have, we depend on that. We live paycheck to paycheck. And I'm sitting here like, okay, like Johnson, you have this lady. I mean, you could tell that she was obviously, distraught about the potential of her family not being able to have the resources that she needed to take care of her children. And Johnson didn't even like bat an eye.
He didn't bat an eye. Yeah, like, when he was on C-SPAN. Yes,
he didn't even bat an eye. And I'm sitting here like, not the good old Christian man. Mike Johnson, he ain't got no compassion,
none whatsoever.
Cold.
None whatsoever.
But I thought it was interesting that Trump now is like, hey Pete, which I don't know why Pete might have spent some of that money on a couple of things and a couple of pints. But he told Pete, whatever all the available funds you have, including the $8 billion in unobligated R&D funds, use that to pay the troops on October the 15th. But I feel like that somehow got to be either illegal or something don't sound right about that.
Something don't sound right, because was it a couple years ago there was an audit on the Pentagon and there was a bunch of money missing.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, you got $8 billion, not million, $8 billion of R&D money that's unobligated, unassigned, sitting there. Now, granted,
why do you have that just sitting there?
Just sitting there. Don't get me wrong. I want our service members to be paid.
Oh, facts.
Without question. Selfishly, because my brother-in-law is a member of the service. I have several friends and family members, several frat brothers. But also just from a standpoint, I used to work in the banking industry, and we did a lot of work with military personnel. And there are certain measures and certain things that some institutions have in play to be able to assist them. But these are loans. These are not your paycheck. So you have to pay these things back. But Anna also is someone who just came off being an independent contractor. I ain't gonna say I was unemployed. I was an independent contractor. I understand how important it is, and research shows that a large segment of our military live paycheck to paycheck.
Yep.
So missing a paycheck, although may come later, guess what does not stop? Those bills.
Them bills ain't gonna stop.
They don't stop. And so I'm glad that Trump has made this declaration to, as I heard on TikTok, Pete Kegseth.
Hey, that's a good one.
Sorry. And that thing had me tickled. He was like, yeah, Pete Kegseth.
Pete Kegseth.
Like, oh, wow, that was a good one. But I'm glad he made this declaration to make sure that they get paid. That is very important that happens. But yeah, so it's just this shutdown it continues on. I applaud, and we stated this before, we applaud the Democrats for the fight that they are making. Although we knew that this would cause a level of discomfort for many people, and we sympathize and have compassion for those who are impacted by this. But it could be a lot worse if the Democrats do not stand their ground.
I agree. And I think this is the longer that this goes on, and I think that what has happened and the response that Democrats have seen, I certainly feel empowered now to keep fighting. Because
you know it.
The pressure, you've already seen that they're having to go in an unconventional route to make sure that the military is going to be paid. But then you also have them trying to target Democratic divisions, companies, what have you, to say, okay, well, those that are, which I don't even understand how you even come to that idea. How are you going to say, okay, we're not going to pay that agency? That's a Democratic state agency. So when the government opens back up, we're not going to give them back pay. Like once again, like we've always said about how Trump just runs the country and how he acts just on a global stage. Why are you in such a business to create enemies? Because let's say that I ain't a Democrat and I work for that agency. Am I going to say, thank you, Donald Trump, for doing what you're doing? I'm going to be like, man, no, screw Donald Trump. Man, I need my money. Or if I'm an independent, I don't even care. I don't even vote. I don't even vote.
But I'm going to vote now. I'm going to vote.
You best believe I'm voting now. Like, and this is the thing. You're creating all this chaos around the shutdown, and the messaging that you're trying to put out there to the American people that is the Democrats' fault is kind of falling flat.
Ooh, bruh. It's not catching at all.
It ain't catching at all. People are like, because I think people are, you can only talk stupid, but for so long.
Yeah.
At some point, somebody in the room gonna say, hey, wait a minute. I don't think that's right.
But not
for
just that.
For it to catch on for somebody else, and people start realizing, because at the end of the day, I think what Trump doesn't realize is that when he says these stupid things or he does these stupid tactics, that it could work to a degree. But if you're saying something that is completely false to what my livelihood is, to what I'm feeling, you can tell me that it's fine. But if I'm sitting in the house and it's on fire, there's smoke. I see flames. It's hot. This house is on fire. Hot. I don't care what you're talking about. This house on fire, bro. And I think that's what we're starting to see with this messaging of it's the Democrats' fault starting to fall flat, because you have control of the House, you have control of the Senate, you have control of the White House. Why am I? If I voted for all of this, I voted all red. I gave you the power. Why do I still? Why am I feeling worse than what I was doing before?
And you know what? Frank brought up a good point in our group chat. Speaking of how the MAGA base and those who support the Republicans are being hit, and they were like, "Oh, I can't get my medication. Oh, Bobby on oxygen, and I can't pay for this oxygen out of pocket. My home health aide can't come because you cut the subsidies from Medicaid, Medicare. Hold on, what y'all doing?" And so that's where it's really starting to hit them. Yep. And their eyes are starting to become open. Like you said, you can't sit here I'm choking on the smoke and I feel this heat and I can see that flame, but you telling me the house ain't on fire. It don't make sense.
what Bush say? Food me can't get food again.
Can't get food again.
I'm telling you, like, I really think it started, and I said it episodes back, because I live in a rural area of North Carolina, and when Trump first won, bro, there were flags all up and everything, and I have my political pettiness. I have my days where sometimes I just take that nice little drive around on a nice little country road and just ride past some of these houses, and I started noticing MAGA flag gone here, Make America Great flag gone there, Trump 2020 something, that flag ain't there no more. Then I look, ain't no flag on the flagpole. I said, oh yeah, you starting to feel it, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because it's real. And the thing that people got to realize, and I'm glad that people are realizing it, is that you can't sit here and be fooled by what someone is telling you about information that is free and available for you to learn from. It's just like I've always, and this is just from a church standpoint that I've always been raised on. It's fine and good for you to sit there and listen to that man preach on Sunday. But if you don't crack that Bible open and verify what that man is telling you, then, sir, you are a fool. Because that man can sit up there and tell you all the stuff in the world, and you clap and you say, "Amen, preacher," and that man could be telling you the furthest thing from scriptural, from being true scripturally that you would ever know. But you chose to believe the man, and politically we do that. People will sit there and listen to these people. But they can go and see this information online. You can research these things. The government has been the government for many, many years. There is a way that a government is supposed to run. These people aren't just doing it for the first time. Like, you can get this information and make sound decisions, but when you can easily fool the people, this is how you lead them into chaos. And you see what you see now, where people are on the houses are on fire, people aren't getting medication. Gas is still high. Eggs is still high. Where eggs was at.
Beef. I can't even make no cheap hamburgers and make no hamburger helper.
Bruh, you can't have beef too high. Meanwhile, black people just doing trail rides. The world is in chaos, bruh. That's how I know the world was in chaos. Because somehow in my mind, I correlate the disaster that this country is going through the popularity of trail rides. That's how I know, bro. You never heard about trail rides, bro, until Trump got back in office and everything started going bad, bro. Now everybody want to be horses in the stable and start doing all these moves and
put their boots on the ground,
bro. Putting boots on the ground, the wrong boots on the ground. That's how I know, bro. That we living in the last days, bro.
The last days. Oh man. But, I concur 1,000%, my brother. That's all I can say after that one.
But I definitely, I know we made our predictions of when we thought the shutdown would end, and I think I had the latest time of saying November the 11th. Yes. And I don't believe, because if they have to use this $8 billion of money that's not signing nothing, which I got a feeling Pete gonna go look, and it ain't gonna be $8 billion. It ain't gonna be $8 billion in that, bro. It ain't gonna be $8 billion in that pot. Right? You ever been at your grandma's house and you see that big old pot on the stove? You think something in there? You go in there, man. There's hardly anything in there. You like, dog, bro. That ate everything up.
Listen, my grandma used to have this big cookie jar, right?
Yep.
And it sat on the counter, and there's been plenty of times where I left the house and I knew there was some cookies in there.
Yep.
And I come back and ain't not one cookie in there.
Oh, you got it crumbs.
Or it's cookies in there that I don't like. And my cousins done been over the house while I was gone.
Yep.
And tore that cookie jar up. And that's what's gonna happen.
Cause if y'all ain't been able to account, if y'all can't order that money properly, there ain't nowhere in the world you telling me you had $8 billion sitting in there. Somebody say, man, let me get about 200,000-300,000. You know,
I'm a pinch here and pinch
there.
there.
We get a little pinch. We sponsoring a company wide meeting over at Stadium, and you know we just tap it out of the pot.
Hey, look, they're gonna do like my aunt used to do with my granddaddy liquor, right? She'll pour some out. He wouldn't drink it for a while. She'd get some and replace it with water so it's at the same level.
Yep.
Then when he go to get some, his liquor ain't right. He ready to tear somebody's head up.
Yep. He gonna go look, and it ain't gonna be enough in there. But I know one thing: it may be enough in there for this round, but it ain't gonna be enough for them November. It ain't gonna be enough for them November 15th chick.
Or no, forget November 15th. It ain't gonna be enough for the first.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh,
ain't gonna be enough for the first.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna be enough for the first. They ain't gonna be enough for the first. You're right.
No.
So they better figure out something. But the pressure, I really think the needle has definitely. I think in the past episode we said it leaned Republican, but I don't think it was too far center. I think now you may see it tipping a little bit more red to the red.
Agreed.
And I think that Johnson got to do something. And you know, every message that has come out from the Republicans, I think has ultimately fell flat because Johnson, every time he tries to explain why he hasn't brought the House back in session, everybody's like, bro, we're not buying it. You just don't. You just doing it after the Democrats.
Yeah, and especially after the Democrats said, okay, forget everything else. Let's just come back and vote on a measure to get the soldiers paid. Mm-hmm. Let's just pay the military. That's the only thing we coming in for.
He said,
no punches thrown, no sleight of hand. We just coming in, vote for funding for the military, and boom, he was like, nah.
Once he know he opened that door,
it's a wrap.
Well, speaking while we here, there's a matter that we must bring to the floor.
Point of order. Point of interest.
So that's our update on the shutdown, and it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon. But if it's going to end, I feel as though we could say clearly that it's going to have to come from the Republicans having to bend the knee a little bit, because the public is at least speaking that this is starting to fall in their lap as far as bearing the weight of why we're at where we're at with this government shutdown.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
It's sticking with our wrestling theme that starts to show off.
Bruh.
The Democrats got the Republicans in the sleeper hold, and the ref lifting their hand. And it's gonna drop down once. It's gonna drop down twice.
Now
it's gonna be lifted up this third time, and if it dropped down, you TKO, or you gonna be able to hold it up and have some life left.
Hey, you better do something. But right now, it ain't looking good.
It ain't looking good.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. And while Pete Kegseff is trying to find a way to divvy out the money to make sure that our military gets paid on the 15th, he was also in the public doing some more other stuff this week. So
Pete was in the crosshairs for sure.
Bruh, first of all, I need to know what his schedule. I need to know what his schedule looked like, because either they're gonna have to get him early enough before he start drinking, or they gonna have to get him late enough that he done had a nap in it on wall. He needs a Coke and some peanuts.
He'll sober it up a little bit.
Bruh, so Pete got up here today, not today, this past week, on the 10th, and announced that the U.S. will have a new facility in Idaho for the Qatari Air Force at Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho, where it will host Qatari 15 jets and pilots with a stated intent to enhance our combined training, increase lethally, and also what else was it that he talked about? I forgot the other part that he talked about. But his announcement drew a lot of backlash and confusion. Because wait, what these folks heard that these Qataris coming to build a base in Idaho, boy.
Not Idaho, Idaho.
You know, I don't know if you ever seen this clip, but this is what the outrage remind me. They did this prank one time where they went to this very rural and predominantly white town. And they played a prank on these people where they had like a town hall, and the guy revealed that they were building a mosque.
You talking about Impractical Jokers?
Okay, is that what it is? Okay,
yes, sir. That was one of my favorite episodes. Them folks were not having it.
Yo, them folks were so pissed.
Pissed.
And he was egging them on. Oh, so y'all don't like the second design? Y'all want the first? He said we don't like neither one of them. Then he said, the blacks, they lucky to be here in the town too. But we tolerate them.
Hey, listen. The outrage and uproar these folks had over the thought of these Qataris coming over here.
Boy.
Like you said, and to I'm not going to say cut him any slack, but to give him a bit of credence, he did say facility. He did not say base. Although he waited 9 hours to make sure to come and clean it up, where you could have immediately said, hold on, y'all, it's not a base, it's a facility. But
Cakes have had his mind on one thing.
A bourbon.
He said, bro, when we get out of here, I give me a bourbon neat.
But
that's why it took him 9 hours.
Listen, those folks let each and every one of them have it. And this wasn't just coming from the left. This was the left, the right, the center.
Every which way.
Every which way. Hey, like they said, they got hold of them and didn't let go.
Well, they wouldn't let them loose.
And so this is unprecedented in many regards because even some of our closest and longest allies do not have military facilities on U.S. soil, let alone, yes, there are countries who have military personnel who are in the country doing trainings, doing different things, and have been. I actually have interacted with them previously, and it was a little shock to me. I, as stated before, from Fayetteville, North Carolina, home of Fort Bragg. I'm gonna have to stick with that. I don't do that Fort Liberty stuff. Exactly. But Fort Bragg, and I've encountered military personnel from other countries. But the fact that they're they've come to an agreement upon a facility for the Qataris, who put in a huge order for F-16s to allow them the space and the capacity to train in different terrains and different weather conditions, has many people in the uproar, believe it or not just in the United States, but abroad as well, in this capacity, because this is 2015. These years run together, boy. 2017, Trump was just talking about how they were a terrorist funding state in Qatar. And so all of a sudden, you're the best of friends. And not only did that declaration come in the facility, but it also came about where they would have a security agreement to essentially protect Qatar as if they were best friends. So if somebody attacks them, we take it as an attack against the U.S. and we're going to act accordingly. And there's somebody on the sideline saying, hold on, this don't sound right.
Something don't sound right at all, bro.
And go ahead, brother.
Now, I'm just wondering, with it being a facility, Well, first, where's the money coming from?
Well, that's a great point. Now, and I did read that they had this agreement back in May, and when they had the summit and meetup, they wanted to announce it then. However, contracts were still being negotiated with certain contractors, so they had not. So they delayed announcing it then. But yeah, where is this money coming from? Because Mr. Vote is talking about slashing government, and this is more government spending.
And I'm gonna be honest, it sounds like a headache. Well, first of all, does this have anything to do with them giving you that gold jet? That sounds like you make a deal and you give them a bottle of champagne.
A little Latin, quid pro quo.
Exactly. It to me with this, it just, I don't like it. I feel like there's some funny business going on. There's some funny business afoot. And I think that when it comes to the accountability of whatever this is going to be, I feel like this puts a lot of pressure on Congress. Because Congress is definitely going to have to demand some hearings. There needs to be some oversight, some accountability of what this is going to look like. So, and that just worries me because for a deal like this to be done, it sounds like, hey, you did me a favor, I do you a favor, and we'll work out the details of everything later. And it's like, no, not on something like this. I don't care. Now, they have said that, oh, well, Idaho was picked because the terrain in Idaho matches the region that Qatar has and for their desert region, and they can do, man, look, I forget all about that. I don't care about none of that. It sounds like some funny business, and from especially to the American people, when we heard all this talk about you accepting this gift as a jet, and now y'all have this deal, and
America first.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a first of having a foreign country on our
first.
Yeah, bro.
First. No, the British, the French, Spanish, no.
Like,
but all of a sudden,
and none of our allies, our closest allies, have anything like this, but we gave it to them.
Listen,
when we have spoke so ill about who they are, and or at least or how we have viewed them, and it sounds like you came in and made a deal. You became buddy. They gave you a gold plane, and boom, now we're doing this when we wouldn't do it for some of our closest allies. Yeah, nah, bro.
Well, our boy Trump has a trip coming up next week or this week,
Lord.
And he's going to see his big buddy, Big Benny, and then he's also going to Egypt, who I know for a fact is going to have something to say about this.
Oh,
because
sure.
How are you? First of all, BB, I was about to call him Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. but you do realize I just shot up their crib,
bruh,
a month and a half ago, and now you making this deal with them saying if anybody shoot at them, you gonna respond accordingly. But I'm supposed to be your first mate, your road dog.
Mm-hmm. How that supposed to look?
How that look? So it's going to be very interesting how he's going to skirt this, because you brought up that great point last week of how, depending on who he is in the room with, determines how he responds and how he acts.
Mm-hmm.
When he's with those guys in Qatar, it's, oh, these my dogs. Mm-hmm. When he with Putin, oh, that's my dog. Mm-hmm. When he with Big Benny, oh, that's my dog. Well, you can't be can't
be everybody dog.
All them can't be your dogs when they
they don't like each other.
So,
right, ain't no need for you to act like you a camp counselor now and try to kumbaya everybody. No, sir. That's a big fish to fry.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting next week with his his Middle Eastern tour and how that plays out. And you know who has not said anything, but I know they're looking at this sideways?
Mm-hmm.
Our fake friends, Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
No, they're looking sideways because they already have their relationships with China and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we haven't spoke on it in depth here, but their interference and their dabbling in our sports and entertainment at the level that they are right now, trying to diversify their money. It's going to be some interesting stuff, man. Very interesting stuff.
Bro, you know one person that I want to know what they think about all of this?
Where
is Tulsi Gabbard at, bro?
Listen.
Bro, that might not directly fall in her wheelhouse, but as a person that's in charge of national intelligence,
she should have something to say.
She should have something to say about it. We ain't seen old girl in a minute, bro, or at least heard from her.
Listen, I think in her mind is out of sight, out of sight, out of the foolishness.
Look, my name Bennett, and I ain't in it.
Leave me alone,
bro. Just leave me alone, bro. And I would love to hear. Matter of fact, Tulsi, if by any chance this podcast finds you, first of all, I hope all is well. Hope all is well. If it's not, then
thoughts
sorry, but if it's not, then I thoughts and prayers. The peace that passes all understanding you can find in Christ Jesus.
Yes.
But you have a platform here. You can come and let us know if you don't want to put it out on the major sites, or you don't want to get it out to the major networks. You come tell us here at the pod, and
we got your back.
We'll just drop it. Ain't nobody gonna believe us anyway. We the agents of chaos.
Look, I'll take the fall for it. I'll say, you know, I believe because I believe there's quite a few in the military who just think this is utterly foolish.
Yep, I agree.
Utterly foolish. And Tulsi, holla at me. Part of my rude across all socials, and I got you. And
we'll take care of you.
I'm loyal to my sources.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll see what happens up in Idaho, man. So Idaho, y'all about to be known for more than just your potatoes.
Yeah. And the childhood joke.
Yep. Well, with that being said, man, we've reached that part of our episode where we've reached our pickle of the week.
Uh-oh.
We've got your pickle. We've got your pickle. We've got your pickle.
Doom, 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 doom.
I got a question for you real quick before you provide the pickle of the week.
Yes, sir, bro.
As I'm not sure if your listeners know, but you are very musically inclined.
Yes, sir.
What instrument is that is playing? I want to say it's an organ, but I'm not sure.
At the end?
With like just we got your pick. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I want to learn how to play the organ just so I can do that.
Hey, bro, I used to play the organ, man, and I forgot which one it's called, but the organ that also has the bass pedals at the bottom.
Yeah,
bro. Let me tell you, that is a hard thing to do, brother. That coordinate your feet to play the bass parts, but your hands to do all that other. Man, let me tell you, but if you can get it down, it's a beautiful sound, bro.
Oh yes, sir. Good old church tunes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, that's why I started that, brother. That's why I started.
Sir.
But I got two pickles this week again. I got two, man. Hey, look, they had that. I went down to the store. They had buy one get one free, 2 for $1. I said, why not, bro?
The question is, did you go to the Piggly?
Bro, bro. You know where I come from, we call it something different, but
yeah. I have two words for the letter N.
Yep.
You can't say them.
One of them you ain't supposed to say. But yeah, bro, I got two pickles. And the first pickle for this week,
brother,
is Pam Bondi.
Come on, Pam.
Pam might find herself a regular pickle, bro. Like she might just be there. She might just be just because. She may be on pickle notice. She just there until otherwise noticed. There's disrespect every week.
So I don't know if this was still a thing when you got to ECU, but campus living used to be called pickle. It was partners. It used to be partners in campus living, and they used to have a pickle mascot, and used to have somebody go around in a little pickle costume. That's Pam Bondi now.
Bruh.
Yeah. ECU, yeah, that's an ECU lore, you know.
So Pam Bondi is the pickle of the week because she stirred some backlash after suggesting the creation of a national gun registry system, framing it as a public safety modernization effort. And we don't like that.
No. You thought they was mad about Bad Bunny?
Woo! You done stepped on the wrong.
You talk about they gotta do something with their guns.
Well, when you bring up
you
guns,
in their business.
When you start meddling in gun folks' business,
no sir.
They don't play by animals. They don't play by guns.
No, hold on. Let's correct that. They don't play about their dogs. Forget the animals. They don't play about their dogs.
You're right. They don't play about them dogs and them guns. So this idea quickly met fierce resistance from gun rights groups, especially the National Association for Gun Rights, abbreviation NAGR or NAGR. I had to do my research because I was not aware of the National Association for Gun Rights or NAGR, but they are the second largest gun group. The only one bigger than them is the NRA. But they called this the National Association of Gun Rights. They called this a betrayal of the Second Amendment and a slippery slope toward government surveillance of lawful gun owners.
Yes,
of course, Bundy and her team tried to clarify that her comments were taken out of context, which I can't stand when folks throw that out there. No, you didn't get what I said. No, I got exactly what you said. Quit playing with me.
You didn't like what we said.
you ain't like my reaction. Just because you like my reaction don't mean that, that I didn't understand you. I understood loud and clear what you said. And she said that it was taken out of context and that she supports responsible ownership tracking rather than a registry. Then, ma'am, how can you track it if it ain't registered? See, that's what I was talking about. That's what I was talking about earlier, listeners. That's that foolishness they be playing. They say something a different way, like it means something like it's totally different. No, you just said the same thing, just a different way. Tomato, still a tomato, or tomato is still red.
And it's a fruit.
Way. But the damage was already done, bro. Conservatives, libertarians, and even some moderate Republicans came after her for what they saw as a major misstep. So, Pam, you in the pickle for that. Because, you can't play with them guns.
Don't play with them people guns.
Don't play with them people. Y'all should have been done something. And you ain't done nothing. And what needs to happen ain't gonna happen without some resistance. You ain't gonna be able to please them. You ain't gonna be able to please them. They don't want you in your business. The only way that you're gonna be able to please them is to stay out their business.
Yes, sir.
Mind yours.
Leave my guns alone.
Yep. And you know how that gun money talk now.
Ooh, you better believe.
That gun money talk. But yeah, Pam, you in a pickle for that. And then I got another one. Winsome Earl Sears.
Hold on. What's that first name again?
Winsome. 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 Well, she don't win some, or she don't win some, or lose some. That's what we gonna call you. Loosum Earl Sears, the Virginia Lieutenant Governor. Which I need to do some research because I know here in our great state of North Carolina that it has always been known that the lieutenant governor's seat has never been a seat to give you a shoe in into being the governor. I think in North Carolina, Every lieutenant governor who has tried to be the governor, go from that seat to the next step up, which being the governor, that seat has failed every single time except twice in North Carolina history. And those two times that it happened, I believe both of them were Democrats that were able to do it. So I'd
Was
be
it
interested.
Mike Easley one?
I think it was. I think he was one. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Mike
I'd be
Easley.
interested to see what the record is in Virginia as well too. But Lusum Earl Sears, the Virginia Lieutenant Governor, entered the debate that she had this past week with. They said she had momentum. I don't know how. Apparently, I don't understand what momentum is. But regardless, whatever she left having to do some damage control because her performance at that debate, bro, was so terrible. She looked so unprepared. She was defensive, especially on key exchanges over education and reproductive rights. They even came at her about saying discriminating, saying that because she didn't agree or she thought that gay marriage should not be a thing. And when she basically got categorized as being discrimination, as being discriminating against those that are of that lifestyle, being gay, she was basically like fumbling over a word. She couldn't keep her tracking. She kept cutting off the Democratic candidate. She cut off the moderator. Like, bro,
that's terrible.
She looked terrible, and I think for a person who um has been so supportive of Donald Trump, and we talked about it on previous episodes how Trump has not even come out to endorse her, which is telling. And then you go into the debate and just look terrible, flat out terrible, in your performance. Homegirl, you in a pickle. You might have to hang it up, lose some. You can't have a name like Win. Well, I mean, guess her name is right. You win some, you lose some. So I don't believe, brother, that I don't believe win some, lose some is going to be able to recover. But she certainly, from her debate performance, did not help herself at all. And I do not see a Trump endorsement. It looked very slim to no chance at before this debate. But the way that the public has responded and the way that she has been drugged on social media, yeah.
Yeah, he not touching her at all. After that, mix up. I ain't gonna call it a mix up. Fumble is what that is. He's not touching her. And
she went up there on them people's. She went on them people's TV and showed her tail, as my grandma would say. Show her pure tail.
Before you close out the pickle, only because it's our great home state of North Carolina, and we don't normally do corrections here because you read the Bible or you don't. It was not Mike Easley. Mike Easley was Attorney General and went on to be governor.
Oh, okay.
The first person to do it was Todd Robinson Caldwell, but the second one, and I don't know how I dropped the ball on this, but I must give my man some love because he's probably one of my favorite governors of North Carolina. The good brother James B. Hunt Jr., or as we like to call him, Jim Hunt, was lieutenant governor from 73 to 77, and then was elected governor for the first time in 76, and then again in 92 and 96. So yeah, those are our two who pulled off that great feat. And I got to give my shouts to my boy Jim Hunt because he was my dude back in the day.
Hey, so yeah, man, that is my pickle or my pickles for the week. So we have reached the conclusion of our episode, and at the end of our episode, guys, you know that we always, to conclude, give you our spotlight of the week. So, my brother, what is your spotlight or spotlights of the week?
I got a big spotlight. It's of this week, and it's going to carry for a little while. And I said I would come back to this.
Okay,
Mike Johnson, are you going to be Speaker of the House next term? Next year when the election is up, because brother, the way you're handling this situation with the shutdown, the way you're handling the situation with getting our troops paid and the military paid, it's not looking good for you. You already had pushback for your second go. Well, shoot, overall, first and second time around, there was a lot of pushback and the resistance in getting you elected as Speaker of the House. But this time around, your handling of all this, I can't see it. So when the vote comes around, next year, will he be elected again as Speaker of the House? As of October 2025, it's going to be an uphill battle. Uphill battle. When you got the likes of Mike Massey and you got Marjorie Taylor Greene speaking out against you, and you got other moderate Republicans speaking out against you in your handling of calling the House back into session to, get matters rolling of the shutdown. And as we spoke on earlier, particularly getting the troops paid. When the Democrats are willing to come to the table to talk with you about paying our military and you just turn your nose up, that's not a good look. It is not a good look. So that is my spotlight right now, just to see, how he's going to fare as this time continues. Because quite honestly, if this shutdown continues much longer, those chances are going to dwindle and diminish more and more. Believe it or not, it's October.
Yeah,
the year's almost over. So if this thing creeps to November and into November significantly, I don't see that speakerhood going his way anymore.
Yeah, because at some point, it's time for some of these people that are running for re-election to hit the road, and you haven't given them much of anything to go back and run on. So
when that calendar turn, yes sir,
it's gonna get real sticky, and you going into a very sensitive time with the holidays, and ain't nothing like a family feeling like they disappointed their kids and not being able to give them the holiday they deserve because they feel like those representatives and their government as a whole has put them in a worse position when we voted for you to go to make our lives better. And you as the speaker have to give them what they need to go back home and run on and say, hey, this is why we're doing what we're doing and this is what we're going to do. I can't sit in the town hall and hear complaints and don't have resolution.
Facts.
That's an easy way for you to be sitting back at home.
Easy way. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, my spotlight is pretty simple, and I think it's something that we all, as far as globally, are watching for, and that's the Middle East right now. With Trump is supposed to be, and maybe that's why another reason he wanted to go ahead and make sure he got that semi-annual physical to make sure he was good enough to make the trip to the Middle East. But Trump, and I believe Melania is going with him as well, are headed to Israel and Egypt to solidify the first phase of the fragile peace deal between Israel and Hamas. And the agreement was to have the temporary ceasefire, from which I believe at this point both sides have held.
Yes.
And I believe at the time of this recording, by the time this episode drops, which will be Monday, I believe that all of the hostages will have been returned.
Supposed to be, yes.
Supposed to be.
Yes.
So while the ceasefire is held, they still is fragile. So, certainly I don't think that this should be brokered as a win. I definitely think it's a turn potentially in the right direction, but there is some sit down and some conversations that are going to be had, and I just want us to be mindful because we know that what Trump is going to do. The only reason he's showing up is to celebrate this as if it's a win. And while I'm not taking anything away from the fact, because yes, these hostages, whether they're dead or alive, returning back to their family, be it alive or be deceased and being buried properly is major. It is major.
Yes, agreed.
But this is certainly not over. I believe that Trump is supposed to be meeting with the families of the hostages. And I believe he's actually supposed to speak as well, too, at an event in Israel. Which
just
I don't even know how that's going to go, what he going to say. Because if it's anything like he did at that summit a month ago where he talked in front of the other countries and he sat up there for 57 minutes and just blundered a bunch of crap.
Nothing. Bunch of nothing.
What little bit he has done for this deal, he definitely about to ruin it by going up there running his mouth talking crazy. a lot of people have said, and this is one thing that I will agree to, but let me say this. We definitely should keep this as a spotlight to see where these conversations and what the next phase look like, because again, this is certainly not over. But to leave this point in the close episode, I just will say this, is that I have a problem with Trump seemingly trying to position himself and his presence in the Middle East to make himself look as if he got this amazing and massive deal done, which again, I'm not taking away from the step of this first phase that's been done, but I would like to see the president of the United States take the same energy in trying to get a deal done with this shutdown. You have been much more invested, and some may say rightfully so, but I think you've been more invested in trying to work this deal than trying to get a deal done that affects the American people domestically. Because at the end of the day, these hostages being returned and the war ending between Israel and Hamas is a great thing, but that's a great thing globally. That war ends, and where does that leave us? Where does that leave our families that are struggling? What about our farmers who basically are about to lose generational land because they have to do something because they cannot sustain the life that their country or their government or their president has put them in, and the president decides to get a physical to make sure he's good enough to fly to go look like the savior of the Middle East when people need a leader here at home? So,
well, boy, you with the collection plate. Where is the collection plate? Because you just preach. But here's the thing. Does resolving things here in the States get him a Nobel Peace Prize?
Bruh.
That's what this is about. That's all this is about. And it's sad. It's very sad.
Man.
And I ain't gonna say no more on it because you preached a sermon, and it is bad etiquette to come behind the preacher to preach a sermon and you start preaching behind them. You just say amen and you dismiss. But yeah. That's all this was about, man.
That's all it's about. And I just want the American people to open their eyes, but most importantly, be wise. Yes. Because these people that are doing the things that are affecting and impacting you, they were voted there. Mm-hmm. They didn't seize power. They didn't, go into Washington with a gun and demand power. They were put there by people who voted. Whether you didn't vote or not, and I've told people before, if you voted, that's still a vote for the other person.
Yep.
So I would just be wise at what you see, but even more wiser at what you feel. And when it comes down to the season that we're going into, and I'm not saying anything, wishing anything bad, but I'm also a realist. I get in trouble a lot for that. But as we go into this winter season, and we know what winter looks like, we know what holidays look like, we know what we want to have for our families, that we want to enjoy for our families, and we know what health we need in order to enjoy that. I would just be mindful of what you hear and what you see and how you feel, and let that dictate your mind and the decisions that you make, because ultimately you can serve whatever this chaos is that we call politics and government, but at the end of the day, your job is to protect and preserve the well-being of you and your family.
Yes.
And that's all I'm going to say.
I have nothing else. Again, you don't preach behind the preacher after they give their sermon. You say amen and you step aside.
So amen to that. And that is episode 40. I just wanted to make sure that we all understand that, because at the end of the day, we all in this chaos together. Whether you're on the left, whether you're on the right, whether you're in the middle, at the end of the day, we all on the same political boat, going through the same wavy chaos that we all are ensuring. And if we all don't somehow find some joy and laughter in it, we'll all just end up crying together.
It's plain and simple. Just snotting and boo-hooing all in the same space.
Bruh. So wherever you are, to our listeners, I thank you for tuning into this episode. I thank my brother Chuck for once again standing in the gap for my brother Manny,
yes,
who has been sidelined, still at the team facility. He's still showing up for meetings, y'all, but he just can't get on the field right now. So until the team doctors clear him.
Yeah, he's still in the facility. He's still showing up. He's still on the roster. Still getting the check. He's just inactive at the moment. But please believe he still provides his input. He still provides insight, so that you all are receiving the information that you need and come to expect from this podcast. So get well, my brother. I appreciate trusting me to step in and assist in this time. So yeah, thank you, man.
All right, man. Well, if all hearts and minds clear, remember that if don't nobody love you, just know the boys here at the pod. We love you. We hope this episode finds you in great spirit. But if not, we hope that you're able to be strengthened and given what you need to endure until times get as peaceful for you as they possibly can. So take care, world, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.